I'm going to plug this in. Not quite. All right, it's kind of quiet here, but not really. It's not really, but Janet's here today, luckily. So Janet, I'm so glad you're back today we know it's Friday because Janet's here. And Janet's here for week 6 of our Heritage Scrapbooking series. And everyone has been loving what Janet has taught us so far. A lot we've learned from her experiences of good and bad experiences,
That's
things
right.
to do, things not to do.
That's right.
And today she's got staff projects to show. And what was your other thing, Janet? I've already forgotten.
My very best tips.
Oh, very best tips. So she got her best tips and scrap projects to show.
It's Friday.
It is. And if we are a few minutes late, so just take that in mind and think about the chaos we might have been having just in the last 3 minutes. A lot happening here, and that's great. It's all good stuff, so we're just catching up. And there's a lot of people joining us on this Friday morning.
Great.
Hey, if you're out and about, come to our store today. We've got a lot of new product, and it's pretty exciting. We're going to have Janet here, and then after Janet's done, we're going to go ahead and show you some of this new stuff that's come in. Look at the colors. Good spring colors. We got to love that. And we have big news about a Seth Apter class that you can participate in. And I just remember I printed the sign for that, and it's still on the copy machine. So we'll get that during the video here. And let's see. So Seth Apter, stay tuned for that. We'll tell you all about it. He's going to be teaching a live class, and our lucky memory-bound customers can participate. And Dawn and I are pretty excited about it. He's this huge mixed media artist, and we both have had classes with him. And plus he's a fun guy. So we'll talk about that later. But first, I think we're going to do our heritage and see what Janet's got for us today.
Great. Well, come on over here, Kelly.
Come on over. Come on down.
First of all, I'm going to try not to cry today because it's my last day with everybody. I just love this topic and just appreciate so much that everybody's been along for the ride. So, brought a couple of quotes for the day.
I love your quotes. And I will take pictures of them. Now, Janet, just a little squirrel moment. I didn't post Katie's pictures from yesterday because I got home last night and I was missing the pictures of her little diagrams. So I will do that this morning when we're done, and we'll get Janet's pictures all posted too, and we will catch up today.
Katie's diagrams are the best.
Yeah, she's a good, what'd you call her?
She's
writing?
an architect.
Architect writing.
In another life, she must have been an architect because she has architect
She does
writing.
have good handwriting.
Yeah.
So.
I think today's theme, Kelly, is storytelling. And this is one of my favorite quotes probably of all time. It's from Hamilton, if you've seen Hamilton. If you haven't, I recommend getting it on
I would
Disney
love to
Plus,
go to that show.
or seeing it in person for sure. But one of the themes of Hamilton that's probably not as recognized is the idea of creating a legacy that will live beyond you, and the idea of who will tell your story once you're gone. And this is why I was sobbing in Hamilton in the theater, because it really struck me from a storytelling and memory keeping standpoint how important it is for us to make a plan to tell our story, the story that will go on after we're gone. So I think that is probably my theme for the day, Kelly.
That's a good theme, Janet. I like that.
So I have put together, just thinking about what did I want to leave people with today, I put together a list of my best tips. In the probably 6 years that I've been working on this project, I've learned quite a few things, like you said, both good, bad. Learned some things to do, some things not to do. So I've got just a quick list of those things and some examples to show you, and then we've got some great projects to share.
All right. I'm excited, Janet. I think it's going to be a great day.
So I'm going to walk you through this list here. And basically, just what I want to start out by saying to everybody is think how far we've come in the last 6 weeks. Whether or not you've been working with us at home on your own heritage project, think of where we started, Kelly.
Oh, are you going to show your pictures?
We started.
Yeah, many of us have boxes like that.
Yes, and then we worked on our sorting.
Good review. I love this.
We've gone through all the different categories that you might run into in those boxes, with the goal of ending up with completed albums So we're hopefully going to go from this to this. And it is possible. And the reason I'm here is to tell you it's possible.
And to just get started. I think that's the hardest part. And I
Just
think
get
you did such a
started.
nice job, Janet. I just want to personally thank you for what you've done these last, well, I'm going to say 6 weeks because I'm counting today, because there are a lot of people that have those boxes and we're kind of like just putting it off because it seems such a cumbersome task, and you really have broke it down well.
Well, thank you very much. Truly, it's been my pleasure. This is a subject I'm really passionate about. One of the things I wanted to mention, because this might ring true with some of our viewers today, is this first point.
Here,
That
let me come over there.
life brings you to a point where I think heritage scrapbooking starts to call to you. And I was talking to Don about this the other day. Even 10 years ago, probably even 6 years ago, I wasn't this way. I didn't feel a calling to dive into this project. But circumstances of life bring you to a point where you start to see memory keeping and legacy in a little bit different way, if that makes sense, Kelly. It might
I think so.
might be the loss of a parent, or maybe when you inherit
Or pandemic, maybe.
a pandemic, you might inherit a box of things, and at some point you might begin to feel that weight of responsibility that if you don't take the time to do something with those photos and mementos, who's going to do it? And the prospect of just leaving that undone can be a motivator. Am I making sense?
It makes sense. And Janet, I just want to share with you that Mary Ann says you actually motivated her, and she has gathered up her stuff, and she can't believe how much she's accumulated, and she says thank you for getting her started.
That's great.
So Mary Ann, thank you.
Yes, thanks for sharing that. I do think sometimes it's hard to get started because you don't have a framework. And hopefully if I've done anything with this little series, is to give you a structure to work from. So that was my first point. You might not be at a point now where you're ready to deal with your legacy and your heritage photos, but give yourself some time, and you might get there. Hopefully you will get there. So if some of this is not ringing true to you yet, just give yourself a few years and you might be at a point where you're ready to work on it.
And Janet, your assignment this evening or this afternoon is to go home and read all these comments that are coming through. You have reached a lot of people and lots of really sweet things. So you need to go through it. You need to read those when you get home or sometime, and you will.
You guys, I don't have a Kleenex on my sleeve this time.
Yeah, no Kleenexes in her sleeves, but we're still going to harass you about that for years to come.
Oh, well, I truly appreciate the kind comments, and seriously, it brings me a lot of joy. So thank you. I can't wait to read those comments. The other thing I want to mention is just recognize the fragility of your family's history. If you don't take the time to put things in an album in a format that's accessible, what's going to happen to those boxes? I know if I don't do that, those boxes are likely to get tossed. Mm-hmm. And that's your family's story right in those boxes. And I looked at that and I thought, I can't afford to have that happen. It's my responsibility to do something with this. So hopefully that will resonate with you. The comment I made earlier, Kelly, about storytelling is to see yourself as a storyteller. See yourself as the gatherer of all this stuff, the photos, the memorabilia, and the one who puts it in a story, because it's the stories that are going to be compelling for people to learn going forward. And I recently read this quote, which really spoke to me, Kelly. I have to share it.
Are you going to be able to read it, Janet?
I'm going to try.
Okay. I'll help you if you need it.
This is a storytelling quote, and it says, "We are the chosen. In each family, there is one who seems called to find the ancestors, to tell the family story, to feel that somehow they know and approve. We are the storytellers of the tribe. All tribes have one. As the scribe is called, I tell the story of my family. It is up to that one called in the next generation to answer the call and take their place in the long line of family storytellers." And that really spoke to me when I saw that recently. And I thought, I am the family storyteller, but I'm not the first one. In my family, I could come up with several people who have told the stories. And one of them is my great aunt, Mate, who in 1948 wrote the story of one branch of our family.
Oh
And
my gosh.
do you remember these old mimeographs?
Yes, I do, from elementary school.
She wrote this story. It had to do with her mother and her father. And she put it together in a book, and she made, I think, 10 copies. And I have one of them. And it's her stories that really fueled my my scrapbooks. And she even drew some pictures too.
Oh my gosh.
So she told anecdotes about her family that there's no way I would have known from Ancestry or from just the pictures. So it's written in a very compelling and interesting way. So when I think about storytellers, I have several storytellers in my family, and she is one of them. And
well, that's a keepsake right there.
it is, and it's just been so valuable to me. And so I would invite everybody to think about who have the storytellers been in your family, because no doubt there are some. And it might be the ladies who organized the family reunions way back when, the ones that I never wanted to go to.
Yeah.
It might be somebody who has left you a diary to read through, or who writes on the back of the photos. Diana has a storyteller in her family. She shared with me this book, which is just, it's incredible.
This is Diana?
Diana, our staff member.
Okay.
And it was a diary of some relatives who someone took the time to transcribe.
Oh my gosh, 1919.
Yes, and it goes day by day.
So let's see. Has been another very cold day. Received a letter from Clara saying she'd be home the first of next week. I wrote a few lines to Annie. Finished hanging up my clothes, as what I hung up yesterday was dry this morning. Mr. Benedict brought me a package of envelopes.
Isn't this amazing?
It is. Oh my gosh.
So someone wrote the diary. That person was a storyteller, and then the person who took the time to type it all up and make copies for everyone, she was another storyteller. So these are the people that pass the legacy on, help us pass the legacy on to future family. And so I would invite everybody to start thinking of yourself as a storyteller, as a person in this long line of
Janet,
storytellers.
I want to read. I'm going to read that when we
Isn't
get
this
done.
amazing?
Yes.
It's truly amazing.
I did not iron as I intended, but wrote letters to Grace and Viola.
Yeah, it just paints such a
It
vivid
says,
picture.
Mrs. Ray, who lives next door, came in, and I gave her some music, which I think she enjoyed.
Isn't that awesome?
That is neat.
So Diana is really lucky to have this. And
Yeah,
this
I
is
would say
just
so.
Just a real heirloom to pass on.
Those are really cool.
So the next point I would like to make, and everybody who started on their Heritage album surely knows this, is that Heritage scrapbooking doesn't happen quickly. I have been working on my albums now, I checked, 6 years.
Time flies.
Yeah, and I have made 7 or 8 albums. None of them I would consider done. But it just takes time to do all that research. But the joy is in the journey. It's not necessarily in having a completed album, but it's what you discover along the way. So don't give up on the process, even though it takes longer than making a vacation album or some other kind of an album. My next tip, Kelly, is to keep that box of unknown photos, or keep those photos that you don't know who the people are, because as you work on your family tree and as you research, you are going to learn who those people are. And I have some examples of that, Kelly. This is a Bible, which is very, very old.
And this is from your family?
It is from my family.
Oh my gosh.
And my best guess is it's from the 1870s, and it belonged to the Weaver family. And as you can see, it's totally falling apart. Somebody, not me, attached it with painter's tape.
Blue painter's tape.
But it's literally falling apart. I have not been able to figure out exactly how old it is.
Oh.
But when I inherited this, I found it in my parents' basement. It had not been looked at for many, many years. I honestly felt kind of burdened by this. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? It's in such bad condition. What am I going to do? So I looked through it briefly, didn't pay much attention to it. But I did find, and I marked this is super fragile, but I marked this
Janet, it's so
here.
sweet that you've been bringing all this stuff to show
I
us.
want people to see what you can do. This is a list of family births that have been written in this Bible by the owner, and marriages and deaths.
That's
and
what
all
I
that.
remember my great-grandparents' Bible having was
Yes.
deaths and births and things like that.
So if you have a family Bible, be sure and look through, especially like in the middle, and you're going to find hopefully some of this kind of information. But what happened to me the other day, I'm working on my family tree, and I'm kind of at a point where I'm stuck on a particular line of the family. So I thought, I'm just going to go back through this Bible and see if there's something I missed. And lo and behold, there was. I found these pictures.
In the Bible?
In the Bible. And they were kind of stuck in the binding and kind of toward the front. I totally missed them. And at the time, I know I've probably seen this one before, but I didn't know who this lady was. And this one had some writing on the back. And all of a sudden, at this point in my research, I know exactly who these people are. And these are my third great-grandparents.
Oh.
And I didn't recognize the names before, but now I do. So these are things that I missed. As time goes on, Kelly, you start seeing things a little differently. So always go back and look at the things that look through the things that you've looked through before, because you certainly might have missed something or overlooked it, as I did for sure with this photo. So what I did, Kelly, is I took this picture and I made it into a scrapbook page.
Oh, so you found that one picture, and then now you have a scrapbook page.
I put it on, I enlarged it, just took a picture of it, made it a little bigger, and put it on a scrapbook page. And this takes my family history, fourth great-grandparents. This takes my family history one generation back.
Cool, just by finding that picture.
Yes, I kind of thought I knew who the people were, but I wasn't for sure. The other thing that I found in this album, or this Bible, was this piece of fabric. And it says, "In memory of Lizzie Weaver," and it's got her death date. Well, I have figured out who she was. She died at 16 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And they kept a piece of her dress. And so she is also in my album.
So I bet you have a scrapbook page for her.
I do have a picture of her in the album. If I can find it. I marked it, yeah. It's not a great picture, but this is her right here. So before I put this all together, I would not have, I would not have known who she was, and I certainly wouldn't have known who these people are either. So it takes some time, but you will figure out those unknown photos.
And Janet, we have lots of good comments here that I'd like to share that you can. First of all, if you have missed any of Janet's Fridays, they are all right here on Facebook. If you go to our video section, and you can look for the Friday dates, and usually they have a little description that say Janet's going to be here also. So you can find them there if you've missed any. So you haven't missed anything, you just need to go back. And then Julie says that she has all of her mother-in-law's 5-year diaries from 29 to 1935, and then she said, explained why she was the person she was. And I don't know if that's positive or negative, but I like the comment. And Beth has all of her daddy's postcards that he sent her when he was overseas. And she wants to know how to share the front and the back. Do you have a tip for that?
I brought my postcard album today.
Okay, so we will get to that, Beth.
Hold that thought, Beth.
And Elena, this is kind of a more modern idea, but I love it. When her daughter, maybe it's modern, I don't know. When her daughter was in college, she saved and printed a lot of the emails that their daughter sent her, thinking that she would enjoy reading them when she got older.
Love it.
So that's kind of a good reminder that saving today's history in everyday life is important also.
It is. And so even as you're working on your family history albums, your current chronological scrapbooking is today's history.
It is the history to come, yeah.
So not to give you more to do.
And then Sharon says her aunt always wrote what she did daily in a little notebook, and she found several after she passed away. I bet that was a treasure.
What a keepsake.
And then Janie says for Christmas her daughter signed her up for Storyworth. Each Monday she gets a question and she answers it. and then that she's telling her story, which is pretty cool. I like that.
It's called Storyworth.
Storyworth is what she said.
Great.
I love that.
I've not heard of that. That sounds wonderful.
Okay, and then somebody's asking about the fonts that you use. So I don't know if you want to
write them down.
Write it down later.
For
okay.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
All right, here we go. All right, we're back.
All right, good. Thanks for those questions. Those are great. So another question another suggestion I have is to think about, what have you overlooked? This photo was in an album down inside a little frame, and I pulled it out the other day and realized, oh, it has something written on the back.
I think people were good about writing on even the fronts of their photos back in the day.
But just that information, Grandma MC, now I know who Grandma MC is or was. And I have figured this out based on the kind of photo this is. This is called a carte de visite. Carte de visite. I wrote this down here.
Okay, good, because I don't think I could even repronounce that.
And this is the year, the few years that it was produced. And knowing this this clue back here, I could figure out that this is a picture of Grandmother McClelland. So this lady at a much younger age.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you can kind of see the hair is the same. Mm-hmm. So I even have seen some other pictures where she's wearing that same belt. So
what a skinny waist.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So this is a picture that I totally overlooked, would not have known that it even was there until I pulled it out and I looked at the back. So now this can find a place in my album too.
Great.
So another thing that I would recommend, Kelly, and excuse me, my voice is really rough today, is to share what you have learned. So whether you create, pardon me, excuse me.
We might have to get you a glass of water.
I might have to.
Maybe Diane could bring us some water.
I'm so sorry. Whether you share on a Facebook group or on Ancestry or Family Search, definitely share the stories that you have learned or that you found. Like if you have a diary and you would be willing to type it up and you put it out online for people.
So if you put it out online, are you signaling it that it's a certain family? Do you put it out for that under that family name?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
You would be doing that on Ancestry or on Family Search.
Diane,
thank you so much.
Thanks, Diane. She's the best.
Thank you. I'm coming
Take a drink, Janet.
Into my allergy season, so.
Oh, that's that warmer weather brings the allergies, but it's still worth it, I think.
So this is an example. I would not be where I am today with my albums if not for the generosity of people sharing things on Ancestry. And this is a story that I recently ran across about two of my fourth great-grandparents, Longstreet Harvey, which I think is a great name.
That Longstreet, oh my gosh.
Isn't that a great
Charity
name?
Bennett?
Yeah, those are their names.
Oh my gosh.
And this is a great little story about how they rode with their family and all their possessions on a raft down the river, and at night they tied their raft to a tree, and the river was rising. They kept having to cut branches off the tree to move the chain up the tree to keep their raft from floating away. And when they got to where they were going, they built a home. They didn't have a door, so they hung a quilt up.
Oh my
And they built a
gosh.
fire in front of the door so that a wolf would not come in at night. So this is a story that there's no way I would have known. And these are pictures of their family Bible that somebody posted, and I just printed out for my page. So what a joy it is to find things like this. There's no way I would have known any of this if not for the generosity of the person who shared this.
You made a nice little pocket there, Janet.
So that just fits right in there. So I had not planned on putting these people in my album, but now that I found such interesting information about it, then they can go in the album. So what I have done, Kelly, is as I've learned things, I've tried to share as much as possible with my own immediate family, and then also on Ancestry for far-flung relatives to discover.
Janet, we have a question and
Yes.
a comment. What happens when you find extra pictures And you've already done that section, so how do you handle that? I'm sure
Well,
that's happened.
It happens
just
all
happened,
the time.
kind of.
Yeah. I just add another page in. I don't really worry if things are a little bit out of order.
Just
The nice aspect of working with a 3-ring binder, as you know, Kelly, is you can just easily add in additional
another page.
pages. Yeah.
Okay, and then Corrine says her daughter started a Facebook group for ancestors of her great-grandparents, and it's been fun to see pictures posted and things from the 40s.
I think that's
or
great.
from 40 more descendants so far.
Wow, I think that's great.
That's a good idea. I like that idea.
And that's a great way, too, if you have unidentified photos, to kind of collaborate and see if other people know. Because what I've discovered, as you find relatives that are maybe more far-flung, some of them might have the same a copy of the same photo that you have, but maybe theirs has writing on the back.
Oh, sure.
And yours does not. So that's one easy way to figure out who people are. So I think it's a great idea.
I think I would like to do that. That sounds like a pretty cool way to do it.
But I wanted to show you, because I don't think I've shown you the Ancestry app really, really quickly.
Oh, sure.
I would suggest, if you do anything with your family history, that you definitely build your family tree, and both wide and deep. Deep meaning going back as far as you can from grandparent to grandparent, but also looking at aunts and uncles and cousins and that sort of thing. If you join Ancestry or Family Search, there are phone apps that you can get to, which make it super accessible to you. So just really quickly, you can build your family tree. So for instance, I've got an album here for the Weaver family and an album for the McClellan family. And, oopsie, I can show you at a glance how far back the Weaver family goes. So it goes back several different generations. These are just my grandparents. Or if I want to look at my aunts and uncles, back generations.
Wow.
It goes like this.
So you can do this on your
do it on your
computer
phone.
or on your phone.
At night, when you're sitting in bed and you really should be asleep.
Yeah, and you're hooked on your device.
Yeah. So, for instance, you can pull up each person, and it shows all of their life story. It shows all the pictures that you might have for the person, and all that you've collected from other people. So we were talking about sharing information. This is for my grandma. I had this picture, which you've probably seen in my album. I posted it to Ancestry. So anyone else who is researching and wants information about Phoebe can see these pictures.
Okay,
and
so
can
you're kind of
save
sharing
them.
for other
Yep,
people.
and share them for other people. And that's how I've obtained so much.
Janet, do you have any ideas? Kathy's asking about family from Mexico and how you would search that.
I do not, but I would certainly think that there are options in the websites that I've given you to look at.
So check it out, and maybe somebody here has a suggestion and they can post it also.
Yeah, I do not, but there's so much available online now that I'm sure there are
And that was an
sources.
app it's a website, but they also have an app for your phone that you can get that kind of coordinates
Right.
with it. So it's both, really. Nancy was asking that.
I would say if you are doing your family tree or your family history scrapbooking, absolutely make a family tree online that you can refer to. And that's the way you're going to identify your pictures. I guess the next thing that I would say is keep your albums out. You know, don't put them away on a shelf. Keep your albums out where people can look through them, Kelly. And you know it's so much fun to look through your albums, but just keep them out so that anyone who comes over, if anyone came over,
Maybe later, maybe after the things are a little...
can just look through them. And so it becomes more a part of your daily life. So you've worked so hard to create all of this. Just keep it out and accessible so that it becomes, people become more familiar with the names that you have learned about. So definitely, once you finish an album, get it to the point where you want people to look at it, share it, keep it out on your coffee table.
I think that's to be said with, like you said, with
all
all your
your
albums, because it is fun to look at them and your family. And I think kids love to see their, little kids might not enjoy a heritage album today. In the future, yes, but they do like to look at their own pictures and things.
That's right. Let's travel around here too, Kelly, because the other thing that I would suggest is look for ways that you can incorporate those old photos into other kinds of projects. And so I asked staff to share with us some things that they have made with heritage photos or ideas, and so we have a few things
I
to
know.
show.
Where are we going to start, Janet?
Let's start over here.
Okay.
So Diane made a couple of different Christmas-themed canvases, and this one, isn't that beautiful? It's got pictures of her family from yesteryear.
Here's a Christmas card. And up here, I'm going to tell you that if you've met Diane and she was just here, that's her on the left.
Yeah.
And Dawn, there's Dawn sitting on her mom's lap, and their brothers.
And their dad looks just the same.
Yeah, he does. Bob's still the same.
He has not changed.
So I assume Diane puts that out at Christmas as
She
a decoration.
does. Yeah.
I do.
Oh, good.
There
Come
she
over here,
is.
Diane.
Yeah.
Talk about your. Here. Talk about your. This microphone is.
Diane
kind of
actually has 3 projects here, and she's, well, maybe 4. I don't know whose that other one is.
weird. That's Diana's.
Yeah. Oh, that's Diane.
And luckily she's here and she can tell us all
Yeah.
about it.
Good morning, everybody. These were just projects that I've done, a few years ago. These are 2 of my favorite family pictures from us growing up. Mom was always really good about taking family pictures and doing Christmas cards, and they're just fun pictures that I've always enjoyed. So I do display that at Christmas. Can I switch these two?
Sure.
I didn't realize that you could get personal Christmas cards back in, is that like the 60s? Or?
Yeah, let's see. Well, no, it was before that because Dawn and
There's no
Darwin
Dawn
weren't.
there.
And no Darwin either.
Maybe 50s or?
Probably, yeah. I was probably late 50s that would have been done. So anyway, so these next 2 canvases I made after my mom passed away, and we were going through all of her recipes, and just found all kinds of silverware and utensils. So I put together some of, this one is a Christmas one, some of my favorite kids' recipes. And this is an cookie cutter of my mom's, and so is this one.
Oh, that's so meaningful.
So you can put anything on there. When I taught this class, people were putting pictures on there of the recipes that they got them from, whether it was Aunt Lois or Grandma or your mom or some of yours, which is another idea to do, is to put pictures. I just put recipes from Christmas. This one are family favorites. This one up here is in my mom's handwriting, which was very special. Farm apple pie was.
I've had that before.
Yeah,
you guys have
my
made it.
mom
It's
made
amazing.
hundreds of farm apple pies. The silverware is actually from my grandma. I have lots of old silverware and very unique. The utensils back then were fabulous.
They're very decorative.
They're really cool shapes, so you can put anything on there and just layer your recipes. The best thing about this is the handwriting. So I have my mom's. This one is in my handwriting, and all of this one is in my mom's, and then these are Grandma's handwriting.
And are those color copies?
They are color copies. Yep.
They look.
So you can take
Yes.
your recipes, and we have a machine here that you can make color copies, and they look like the real
Yeah, they do.
the real thing. They're amazing.
Yep, and I have this on display year round.
I love it. We haven't talked about recipes, how those are an important part of
They
your
are
family's
very-
heritage.
Maybe
but-
that's another whole session, Janet.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Diane.
You're
What about
welcome.
your book?
You
You got one more thing. What about your book?
That's Maggie's.
Oh, that's
That's
Maggie's.
Maggie's.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
Diane's. Okay.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Diane.
you, Diane.
Diane's
Those are
projects
amazing.
beautiful. So Maggie brought along a Christmas album, Kelly, which has pictures from Christmases through the
I
years.
do remember her now making this.
So she starts with the oldest ones, and Maggie is here in some of these pictures. That's Maggie,
Here, let me get up close. There
and
she
here
is.
she is. And here she is. Look at her. She's got a little doll.
Oh,
bed.
little doll bed.
So Maggie has made an album of just Christmas pictures through the years. So some of those ones from the 60s and 70s that we talked about. So she starts with the older, and then she works up to more current. And that's as far, oops, she's done a few more here. So she's just made an album of just Christmas, which I think is a really fun way to display your heritage
and I think
album.
people have a lot of Christmas pictures.
Yes.
It seems like Christmas was a time where you did take a lot of photos.
So this album
And
is,
it's a work in progress.
right, it's set up so she can add every year. And so this is something that she could get out at Christmas, and it keeps those old pictures top of mind when you're seeing them like this and looking at them in the context of comparing the same event every year. It's a super interesting and fun way to display your heritage pictures.
I think it is, and I like the idea of getting it out at the holidays, and it's part of your decorations.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I brought back a few
Oh,
of these.
yay!
So I did use these at Christmas time this year. I created these in the fall. These were using the Tim Holtz frames.
Janet, they're hanging
Oh,
right
yeah,
over
I
there.
was
Do you
gonna-
want to grab a
I was
package?
gonna grab those.
Janet did, actually she did two versions. You did the red version, which I don't think we have those anymore. And you did a tree that was all heritage, is that right?
Yes, I did. It was a tree that was really done in kind of these colors, and I put these on the tree, and it was really interesting and fun to have them this year.
And we have a video on this. Would it have been November maybe?
It was November.
November, if you
yeah.
want to go back and see how she made them with these Tim Holtz frames.
Yeah, and the frames are nice. You get a lot of pieces, 8 pieces for $6.99, and I think these would even be great in a heritage album, Kelly.
Oh, I think they would be too. They would
to
look
put
really
them around
good.
a photo. So
Or if you want to do something like Diane has done, you could use them on a mixed media project.
Sure. All of these pictures here, well, most of these pictures, I didn't know who the people were until I started this project. So there's no way, even 5 years ago, I could have done anything like this. This is just only through learning about my family history that I would have been able to do that. And so I'm just really excited to be able to have those and put them out every year now.
Janet, before you go to the next project, I have to tell you this is really fun. Kristen says she remembers when her grandma used to watch her stories, which I believe, the soap operas.
Yeah.
And now she says our videos are her stories.
Oh.
So that's really sweet, Kristen. I love it.
Gosh, we're not as dramatic as the soap
Well, I
opera,
hope
Kelly.
not. I hope not. I don't want to be dramatic.
So Diana has a couple of really beautiful framed pieces that I wanted to be sure and show everyone. Her mom and her
Let
dad.
me head over to, we'll look at her mom first.
Are those glaring,
She's very,
Kelly?
no, I think they're good. So these are 12 by 12 frames, and
Yeah.
she basically did kind of a layout. Wouldn't you
She
say,
did.
Janet?
She
Look at all
did.
those stitched flowers.
She did. I think they're just beautiful. And it's just a great way to display a special picture in your home of someone on your family tree. So just another idea, if you run across a picture that you absolutely love, this is a great way to keep those memories alive. So along the lines of the Christmas album, Maggie has also put together
this
a
is
Halloween
amazing.
album. Look at the cover. Done in
Yeah.
true Maggie style. And this is just Halloween pictures through the years. So if you've got Halloween pictures, this is another way that you could display them. Just gather up all your Halloween pictures, make copies, and show Halloween through the years and how things have changed. These are a little more current pictures, but you could certainly go back as far as you have pictures.
Sure.
I know I have pictures from when I was a child in my Halloween costumes, and I would love to do something like this.
You think about how Halloween costumes have changed just since we were kids,
Yeah,
Janet.
yeah.
And then you think about in the future what this book is going to be like. It's going to be really fun. There's Maggie right there.
She is. So, yeah, this is an album that she can just add to as the years go on and include her grandkids in it as well. So you don't have to use your heritage pictures just in a heritage album. You can look at other ways to use them too. So in the last project that I brought along over here, Kelly, is the postcard album, which I have brought before.
Oh, yes, and we had a question about postcards.
So this is for Beth and others. I ran across a ton of the old postcards when I was going through my grandma's boxes in particular. And I wanted a way to display both sides. So I got one of these snap albums with the...
So that's the snap
Yeah.
binder, and it's got the 4x6 or 6x4 page
Yeah.
sleeves that you can put in it.
And they fit perfectly a postcard. And you can just pull it out. What I like to do is get them out and use for different holidays. Like,
Oh, for decorating?
yeah. So like
yeah.
this one, I always get this one out at New Year's. I put them in the order of the holidays. So it starts out with New Year's, goes to Valentine's, and then it goes to St. Patrick's Day, and so forth. Easter, there's St. Patrick's Day. So I can kind of go through the year and easily find what I'm looking for. So if you have a lot of postcards, it might be worth making an album. And I included a picture of my grandma because these are her
That's a good idea.
postcards. So it's great. You can read what's on the back and see the front and not have to worry about getting them out. Of course, you can get them out if you want to.
So that's the snap binder, which I think those are $18.99. Oh, and it's got show us the little tab again.
Oh, just got a little place where you can put a label in it. Yeah, these are great. Quick and
then
easy
you can
to do.
use the 6x4, 4x6, whatever you want to call it, sleeves, and your postcards fit perfect, and you can see both sides.
Couple other things,
Janet,
Kelly.
got some more? Okay.
Yeah, just a couple more things. My last thought, and this has come up a couple of times as we've talked about this, is what to do with your projects after you're no longer around. So that's kind of a sad thing
That's
to think
a
about.
sad thing to think about, Janet.
But think about a plan for what will happen to your albums. I would say if you have a will, put them in your will. Make sure that there's a place that they're going to get passed down to. Make sure that your kids, your grandkids, know about your albums and that they have a place to go. And you will feel better knowing that legacy is going to be maintained. And in that light, find the next storyteller in your generations. So maybe there's a grandchild, or maybe one of your kids is interested in picking up where you leave off with this project, and maybe they'll be the next storyteller. So figure out what's going to happen to your albums going forward, and then see if there's anyone who you can start teaching how to do this.
Sounds good. Darlene wants to know if you have like a library type room in your house for all your gorgeous albums, Janet.
Oh, thank you. I have a room over the garage. What do they call it? A bonus room?
Yeah, something like that.
It's my craft room / office, and I have a couple of shelves in there that I have. One
all
is
your
just
albums?
one's just for family history, and one is for my chronological albums. But I soon need to get another shelf.
Well, that's good because they're fun to look back on for sure.
For sure. Another thing I want to point out just before we wrap up today is there is a conference going on right now. It's online. It's called Roots Tech, and it is free to sign up. And all you have to do is register. It's free. It's all family history stuff, and it's going on this weekend. And there will be hundreds and hundreds of sessions that you can watch on demand, and they will be available for the next year.
So Janet, is it rootstech.com where you go, or just search on?
Just search for Roots Tech, and it
Okay.
will come right up. And I looked at the sessions last night, and I have already bookmarked probably 20 that I think were super interesting.
Okay.
So they deal with family history. They deal with genealogy if you're interested in that. They touch on DNA if you're interested in having your DNA done through Ancestry or Family Search or one of those websites, and what you can do to preserve your family stories. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. You don't have to watch anything this weekend. You'll have a year to watch.
Elise says it's awesome, and it's rootstech.org.
Thank you.
So, and Pam, this is really sweet. She said her mom was a keeper of their family heritage, and when she passed away, she asked Pam to keep it going. So that's kind of sweet.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you for sharing that. My grandma did the same with me. I promised her that I would take good care of her genealogy stuff, and so that's what I've done. And that's really all I'm saying is just find the next person in your family that can be that person for you.
Yeah, Janet, this has just been awesome.
Well, thank you.
And then you want to ask about future things, right?
Yeah, right. The question that I have for everybody is what more can I do to assist you in this journey of working on your family history? Would you like me to come back from time to time and share some things I've learned, some things I've discovered, some new tips. Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll take all that information and see what we can come up with.
So like Janet said, if you have questions, ideas, suggestions, more things you want to learn about, as you can tell, Janet is a wealth of knowledge, and she'd be happy to come back, and we would love that too, Janet. She's just asking for like what you would like to see and like to do.
I could come back monthly. I could come back.
We take you daily, Janet. But so we're just looking for more ideas, and I thought you were extremely thorough, but there's always questions
more
that you don't know about, and so if you have those, or as you're thinking, post it here or send us an email, and we'll pass that right along to Janet.
And since my books are a work in progress, I've always got new things to share. So I can certainly bring in new pages that I've made or new discoveries that I've made too. So if that would be of interest, that's another thing that we could do.
That sounds
so
good.
We're open to that, and just have everyone let us know about that. So I just thank everybody for their interest in this topic. It's just been a joy to talk about this with everyone and get some folks started on this.
And Janet, thank you seriously, because you have really made it sound doable for people. And some of us that don't think we have enough to get started, I think you've helped those people get started and kind of made us realize that even today's memories are tomorrow's history.
Absolutely.
And we could save people in the future a lot of trouble if we were telling our today's stories.
Isn't that the truth? Well, thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. We love it, love it, love it. So, okay, Janet, let's see.
Would you like me to take the camera, Kelly?
Yeah, if you would, that would be awesome.
Sure.
And we'll get pictures of all of these items, and I'll get those posted later today. And I'm going to hand the camera over to Janet, because we have we have an announcement and we have new product to share. And I want to do the announcement first because it's pretty exciting. But let me go get I printed a picture, so let me go grab it.
So we're going to quickly pan back over these projects.
Oh, my picture's not on the printer.
If you haven't made a recipe scrapbook, this would be a great opportunity to do that. I've made a few, and they are
Janet, my picture didn't print, so we'll just have to go without it, and that's perfectly fine.
All right, Kelly, I was just
Were you
got
reviewing?
myself distracted.
Okay.
Here.
All right. Well, the exciting thing is, if any of you are familiar with Seth Apter, he is a mixed media artist. He's famous. He teaches. He's a designer. He's written a couple books. I have notes because I want to make sure I get everything down. Look at all my notes, and I even have a catalog, Janet.
Wow, Kelly.
And I'll tell you more about Seth, but the reason we're excited about him is because he's going to teach a live online class for our customers.
Ooh.
And some other stores that are with Crafters Home, and it's an exclusive class, and you do have to pre-register, and it's going to be all about mixed media and some of his newest product. And I printed a picture, but it didn't show up, but I'll show you a picture of him to start with, so we can be a little more visual. And we belong to an organization. This is kind of a small picture, but here's Seth. So he's an author, designer. He lives in New York City, and he's actually teaches at the Pratt Institute in New York City.
Oh, wow,
He teaches art. And his art has been exhibited. It's been in magazines and videos, and he wrote the book The Pulse of Mixed Media, and also The Mixed Media Artist. And then he designs for a lot of the companies that we sell here, like Impression Obsession, Stencil Girl Products, Wow, Paper Artsy, and he also is an artist now for, oh, thank you, Diane. Diane found my picture. He's also an artist for Allandine, which is a French mixed media company. They have paints and lots of different things. And he's got some new product out. This might just give you a view of kind of what he's into, and it's mixed media, and it's a lot of stuff, how to use some of his products. And I'll show you what some of those are. His class is Saturday, May 8th, and it's going to be on a Facebook page, and it's $50, and you're going to get $30 in product. So you can art along with Seth.
Oh, wow.
I like that, art along with. I like that. I made that up just now.
Kelly, that's quotable.
And there's a few supplies you'll need, but you would register for the class, and then we will send you, or you could pick up your class supplies, and then there's a few other things like a palette knife and baby wipes and such that you need.
Things you might already have.
Paintbrush, stuff you already have. And that's all online. You can get all that information, and I'll tell you where. And let's see. Okay, so let me show you some of his products. So he's got, this is called iZinc. And look at the pouches. It reminds me of my grandkids' baby food. But they're really nice because they have these screw-on caps. So you can kind of use what you use, and then you screw it back on. And he's got his own special colors. And I watched a video with Seth, and he's got these brighter colors. And so this is like a, kind of a gel, a glittery gel. And he's going to show you how to use it. You can do lots of different things with the iZinc diamond. And then he's got the pearlies. And Janet, it shows a picture there of kind of the iridescent,
oh my goodness,
or opalescent pearlies. Beautiful. Aren't those pretty? So this is product that you would get in your kit.
Wow.
And I think I've got one more here. Like I said, we were kind of running around this morning. Then this is pretty cool here. This is the texture. So this is like a texture paste, but instead of just being texture paste, there's one that looks like little beads, one that's crackled. You don't need crackle paint or anything. It automatically crackles. And then there's one that looks like sand, and there's one they call flaky, and there's one that's kind of a basic. And Janet, I want to run over here really quick to see if we have a thing over here.
You guys, this looks like amazing stuff. New fun things to play with.
Here's some samples of the product.
Oh.
And here's Seth's iZinc Ice.
Wow.
And it's a glaze, and it's translucent. And look at the little caps.
They do look like a juice thing or a baby food thing.
And you can tell that's kind of a gold metallic-y.
Wow.
And here's the diamonds.
Oh,
or
that
diamond.
is super cool.
And
you
again, you can kind of see it, and it's got the little thing that unscrews and comes off. So that's what the product is like.
Very neat. New stuff for us.
I know, it's really exciting. It's so exciting. If you have any interest in mixed media, it's a really economical way to learn more about it.
Yeah, this is
Isn't that neat?
pretty.
So his class is going to be May 8th, and it's I think it's at noon here in Central Standard Time, but all of that is posted. And sign-ups start today.
We have a couple questions, Kelly.
Okay.
Is he going to be teaching different techniques or a specific project?
There will be a couple of projects and definitely techniques. He's all about techniques.
Okay.
And the description is, I mean, I can read it off. This is online. First of all, I'll tell you where you can find this. It's online. Go to memorybound.com and go to shopping, and then you'll see new items, and then you'll see, it's called The Magician's Apprentice with Seth Apter. And you'll see a category, and the class is right in there, and our plan is to add some extra product in that category, kind of like Maker Mania 2 if you participated, for some of the things that you might want to go along with the class on his products. Seth will be summoning all his creative powers to bring you this exclusively magical workshop for Crafters Home. Be under no illusion, this spellbinding class will leave you shouting ta-da and abracadabra and any other magical phrases we can squeeze into this 2-hour show. Use mind-bending formulas from Aladdin iZinc provided in your kit along with supplies you'll be conjuring up. Seth will take you on a journey of immersive textures and enchanting colors that will thrill and excite mixed media makers and creative card crafters alike. Combining the powerful new color-crazy concepts and innovative techniques, Seth will reveal some of the biggest secrets of crafting magic so that you, the apprentice, can harness these powers and be inspired and go forth with your own magical masterpieces.
What a fun theme.
So you're going to have 2 finished projects, a host of new techniques, and some all-new potions that you can add to your own portfolio of creative sorcery. So anyway, isn't that just the write-up on it? It sounds really cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So today at 2 o'clock, there will be a video with Seth kicking off his class. So he'll tell you more about it, and you can learn a little bit more about Seth if you're not familiar with him. My impression is he's just he's really a cool, fun guy and a neat instructor. And then you can sign up on our website, and that is available right now if you want to sign up. And there'll be more information this afternoon when Seth comes on live. And I'll put a link of where to find it, but we're going to try to attach it to our website or our Facebook page. Our Facebook page, so that you can watch it right here at Memory Bound.
Okay.
Can I tell you one more thing?
Yeah, Diane's here with something else.
John just said when you go out to look to sign up for his class, you have to go to online shopping and then go to classes. She said, we have a thing at the top on our website that says shopping classes. You can't go to that class. You have to go to online shopping first, then go to classes and crops, I think is what it's under.
Okay, I think it's under the magician's thing too, but maybe not. So go to online shopping, and then classes.
First.
Okay,
great.
All right. Or you can call us. You can call us and sign up in the store here too on the phone. There are limited supplies, there's limited kits, and so you want to be sure and register if you really want to do this.
So today's video would be a good way to kind of get an introduction.
It would be. It'd be perfect, Janet.
And they can see that on our Facebook page today.
We're going to try to have like a watch party, but we've never done that before, so it's new. And if not, I'll put the link out there so that you can go right to the page where Seth is going to be sharing his information. And it'll be available afterwards.
Couple more questions.
Okay.
Jane is asking, when will the new card kit from Janet be available?
Well, Janet, what's the answer to that one? I don't know myself.
Good thing I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we have more Blossom kits coming.
Yes,
right?
we are just waiting for 2 items from Graphic 45, and those next week is when I think those will be ready.
Week. So we'll have more of those. I'm working on a new kit with Garden Grove products from
Garden
Bo
Grove.
Bunny. So I would anticipate next week.
For Garden Grove?
Yes.
And then after that, you'll start working on
Graphic 45.
Birdwatcher? Okay.
Yeah, so
awesome.
No rest for the weary.
You got the real person here to answer that question.
Let me see
Janet,
if there are any questions.
I would have had to do like some type of BS answer, like in a couple weeks.
You got the real spiel
we'll check
here.
with Janet.
Jane is asking, will you mail the kit supplies for Seth's classes?
We absolutely will. We will mail those, and it'll be just the normal shipping charge, so you can always add more items to it if that's what you want to do. So, and the actual kits won't be mailed out for at least another month.
All right.
It's all coming from Aladdin, which is a French company, which is kind of cool. And I did watch a Seth video, and he was praising them for the quality of their paints and things, the French paints and products.
Well, it looks amazing. Another question from Pat. Will Janet have a kit using the Graphic 45 Catch of the Day?
There is an album kit. It's not a Janet kit, but there is an album project with Catch of the Day, and we could show that. We could run and grab that and show that. We're just waiting on the albums, but we have the paper pack and the directions. So there's an album, but not really cards, but you could always probably come up with something.
But
I mean, not you, Janet, but our customers.
Pat, I used to be a Fisher girl back in the day, but I am, Pat, doing a card kit with Birdwatcher from Graphic 45.
And that's beautiful.
Which I can't wait to start on that.
That's really good.
So, Kelly, you have
some
we
have
stuff?
A table full of stuff that we'll try to go through quickly because I know we've had everybody here for a bit. And we appreciate that. We so appreciate each and every one of you watching us.
We haven't lost anybody yet.
Oh my gosh, okay.
They're still with us.
All right, well, we'll go through some of the new product that came in yesterday. We've been getting a lot of new stuff this week. And this is the Marble Creative Pad from P13.
Oh, that's pretty.
And let's see, it's $6.99, but let me just flip through here.
Oh my word.
It's 2-sided, and it is just beautiful.
Wow, that's like if you did ink smooshing, but they've done
without
the
the
work
inks,
for you.
yeah. Like I think Dawn was talking about Easter eggs. Maybe with this would be pretty, or a mini album.
Very
so that's
different.
going to be online under paper packs and other because it's kind of a different size.
Love it.
And then this is a really cool new collection from Ciao Bella, and it's a baby collection, and it's online under the different sizes of the paper pads, or it's online under baby boy, baby girl.
Cute.
So here's a little 6x6. And I'm going to open one of these so we can see the artwork.
Baby animals.
I know, they're adorable. Like, look at that giraffe. He's got a little growth chart there.
And they have a little bit of that retro vibe to them, Kelly.
And this is Ciao Bella. It's called My First Year.
Really pretty.
And this is called the Creative Pad, and it's the A4 size. And then there are 3 12 by 12 paper packs, and Dawn had one of these open yesterday. And they are just, I should have opened it before the video.
You know, I like these non-traditional baby colors, Kelly.
Well, they could be baby boy or baby
They
girl.
could. Yeah.
And like you said, the animals are just so cute.
Oh my goodness.
So this is My First Year Volume 1, and there's a Volume 2, and then there's just My First Year. And what's kind of cool about these, Janet, they're all two-sided. And look, it's got like My First Bath, and then it's got some other papers that there's bedtime. So they're kind of labeled and
I love this. This
kind
would
of-
make an easy album,
kind
wouldn't
of
it?
done for you. And I'm not really going to be able to flip through all of them. There's
Oh,
your
but
cut
how
aparts.
Cute.
There you can really see a good shot of all the baby
How
animals.
Cute. Yeah, this is beautiful.
And you've got the balloons, and look at the monkeys. I'm 1 year old.
This would make an easy album, Kelly.
There's all your, it would. I think if you bought each one of these, it's got some cut aparts,
Oh
me and my
gosh.
family.
How cute is this?
So it is really super cute. Then, let's see, there's one, oh, and then I wanted to show this. Because look at these cut aparts. This is the My First Year.
Oh, I love it. So if you
And-
were using pocket pages for your scrapbooks, or you could even just add those to a
It
traditional
even,
page.
it even has my first party, my first telephone. My grandson, he's got a phone. Gosh,
Cute.
that's the only way you can keep him from using
Cute,
your
cute,
phone.
cute.
My first swim, my first book. And then this is volume 2. So there's
Aw.
3 different
I'm
ones.
growing up, it says. Oh, how
Isn't
cute
that
is
just
that?
adorable? And
There's the family
Janet,
tree.
there's your family tree right
What a
there.
good segue, Kelly.
It's very, yeah, we should have shown that first. So that is My First Year from Ciao Bella.
Love it.
And then we got in some Prima collections, and this one's called My
gosh.
Sweet, and this is designed by Frank Garcia.
Of course.
And yeah, of course,
You can tell his stuff immediately.
he's always got the very
yeah.
elegant, I'm going to say frilly. There's some cute cut aparts of button packages. It's got that gold accent
Yeah.
or the foil. So that's super pretty. And we've got the 12 by 12. And then we have the 6 by 6 pad.
You know, I used his 6x6 pad for my Christmas cards this year, Kelly.
I know, I remember
So-
that. That was during the Duray show
It
when that came
was.
in.
It
And look at
was.
the little charms with the scissors and the sewing machine.
Oh,
If you
I
were going to make
love that.
something for a quilting friend or a sewing friend, that would be so cute. And then another collection is called Watercolor Floral. That's also from Prima. And we have the 6 by 6 tablet.
That lavender in there is really pretty.
Yeah, you got to have lavender. Or cut apart.
Super pretty.
And then we've got in 3 of the papers, and these are both going to be online under Prima Watercolor Floral or Prima My Sweet. Oh, here it is open, so maybe it won't glare as
Oh
much.
gosh, it's got that that foiling on there, which just
Yeah.
really sets it off.
Very pretty. And then there's this paper,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
kind of a fun pattern.
That is fun. I
Would
love
go with a
that.
lot of different colors, or you
Yeah.
got a nice, very neutral background there.
Background.
And then the other one from this collection, which was Watercolor Floral. I
Isn't
like that. Look at the
beautiful?
rose. I guess it's a rose gold, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
And then another nice background.
really pretty.
And then there's one other collection from Prima called Nature Lover. Oh no, there's 2 more. So there's Nature Lover, and I'll try to show that a little
Gosh,
bit.
that just looks like elegant paper. It's
It is
beautiful.
beautiful. It's real. Look at the butterflies, Janet.
my
It's
word.
really heavy too. And the birds. Speaking of
Speaking of
bird
birds.
watching, and with that collection we have the chipboard stickers, and this is going to be online under Prima and Nature Lover if you go to our new section or if you go to our collections. And then we've got the ephemera and the little gems.
Looks like we got it all, Kelly.
We did get a lot. Oh, and then the frames.
Oh my word.
Okay, these are, you get 3 of these little wood frames, and wouldn't those be cute when one of Maggie's, you know, her little collections that she does,
Yeah.
if you put some fun stuff in
Those are
there or
perfect.
photos.
Even
They're
put a
very nice.
heritage photo in there, Kelly.
And then the other collection that we got from Prima is called Diamond. And Janet, this is very beautiful. Let's see if I can show it.
Oh, wow.
It's got a lot of a little bit more ethnic.
You guys, the colors
designs
are just so rich.
They are really nice.
Jane, you can find Seth's video from today on our Facebook page.
We're going to try to do it. And here's Diamond in the 6x6.
That's beautiful.
And that's going to be online under paper packs. Okay, and then for those of you that like the floral notes, the die is in, and that's the stamp from Pink Fresh Designs like this, and we were out of the die and it's back in. So I'm happy to report that.
Was that last week, Kelly, that you did
that's been a couple
demo?
weeks ago. Yeah, that was one of my favorite things.
If you missed Kelly's demo a couple weeks back with that product,
you have to
it was just
go
the
look
best.
at it because I absolutely love that product.
Oh.
Another back in stock are the Color Play cut apart coloring sheets.
How fun those
And
are.
you'll find this under Easter, and you'll also find it under Photo Play coloring sheets. We have a whole section on our website of their coloring sheets.
Cute.
And then this is very different. This is some rice paper.
Oh, wow.
And it comes in a single sheet. I've got a note here because these need to be packaged. But it's a very nice thin paper, and we were thinking maybe you could put this on the styrofoam eggs.
Oh, sure enough.
So
I bet
it's
you
called
could.
rice paper for collaging. And those are both your good spring or Easter colors.
Wow.
And then this is something I'm like terribly loving, Janet. I just showed this to Teresa this morning. This is new from Honeybee, and it's called Build an Egg. So you have your base, which you could cut out of a certain color, and then you have your decorative pieces that you could cut out of another color and just layer them.
I love it.
And you'd have a whole basket of eggs.
I love it. Those are
And that's
great.
$21.99 for the 9 dies.
And may I say,
wow, I'm
everybody
wore out.
needs an egg die, Kelly. Sometimes you think you can use an oval, but an egg
Is always better. I would agree. And then look at this beautiful dancing
Ooh.
embellishment that came in. It's not easy to find things for dance albums, and so many kids are in dance, and they have recitals, and they take pictures, and this is new. It's $4.99, and you'll find this online under themes and dance, or sports and dance.
Love it.
And the one last thing I wanted to
There's
show
more.
that we have, this is what you can look forward to on Monday. Teresa's going to be here on Monday, and she's going to be using the Honeybee tailgate with the pickup
Cute.
and the die, and then she's also going to show us how to use the stencil that coordinates with it.
Cute, cute, cute.
So this is a preview for Monday, and I can't wait. I haven't seen what she's done, so I cannot wait to see.
We know it'll be fabulous.
We know it will be. So lots of new product. Thank you, Janet,
You're
so
welcome.
much. And let us know what else you'd like Janet to cover in the Heritage Series or anything.
Anything.
And then remember that Seth Apter class that's going to be happening in May. And sign up is starting today. And there will be a video at about 2 o'clock today on Facebook that you can see Seth and kind of get a feel for who he is. It's a great way to learn about mixed media. And it does include product.
Awesome. We have a couple more questions
Okay.
before we leave. The question is, when will my card kit be available online? Well, it's not made yet.
Yeah.
It'll be probably next week is what I'm thinking.
Probably next week, and
Yeah.
we will definitely highlight it in one of our morning videos when it's
And
available.
I think I might have a demo to do.
Oh,
for one of the
yay.
cards.
So maybe you'll be back next week.
I might be back.
We
It
hope
might be
so.
the following week.
The following
just
week?
to give ourselves a
All
little
right.
bit more room. But
So in the next couple
it's
weeks,
coming.
it'll be available.
It's
And the
coming.
Blossom should be restocked next week.
And then another question: do we know when the new Doodlebug designs will be in?
That shipped yesterday, so it will be here Monday or Tuesday.
All right. Kelly, you know
The
you
Fairy
know
Garden
all
and
answers.
the Hippity Hoppity will be here next week.
All right.
Early in the week. We thought it had shipped earlier, and we had a whole empty end cap for a few days waiting for it. And they were missing 2 items at Doodlebug, so they were holding all the orders to ship it when they got those in.
All right.
So
And,
anything else, Janet? Or
when Seth comes on today, will we send a notice out?
we're going to try. I'm going to try, and if we miss it, I will definitely put a link so you can go and watch it.
Did you say 2 o'clock, Kelly?
It's 2 o'clock our time.
Our time.
In
2
Central
o'clock
Standard.
Central time. And Jane said it was easy to sign up for his class.
Oh, so she
she's
signed
already
up.
signed
Yay.
up. So yay.
So you can sign up. You can easily sign up for that now if you want to, if you know you really want to do it.
Very good.
And try it out. And remember, it's $50, and you're going to get $30 in product, Aladdin product. So you will have the product to craft along with Seth as he's doing it.
Perfect.
Which is kind of cool that you can do that.
Yes, exactly. All right,
So,
I think that
thanks
wraps it up.
everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Our video will be back on Monday with Teresa. Thank you, Janet, and everybody. Hope to see you soon.
All right.
Yep.